Good morning, everybody. We're going to give everybody a few minutes after the 10:30 start time to get in here, and then we'll begin the orientation. Good morning, everybody. Let me just unmute myself before I start talking. So thank you for attending the service-based count phone interview and service-based orientation. We will be starting shortly. I'm just going to give a few people just a few minutes to join in. If if you could please go ahead and assign your information, put your name, your position, your organization, email address in the chat box for me. Um, and just to let you know, this will be recorded. The recording has started, and we will be posting it onto the Google Drive and making it available to all of you as well. Thank you. Good morning. Good morning. If you have not done so, if you could just sign into the chat box for me, put your name, location, email address, and we will be getting started in another minute or two. I'm going to allow a few more stragglers to come on in, and then we will get started. It is being recorded and it will be made available to you. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. I don't want to take too much of your time. I know we have had several orientation trainings, what have you, so I want to make this as easy as possible for you all. My name is Martha Samaniego. I'm one of the program specialists here with the Continuum of Care Division with the Housing and Workforce Solutions. I am one of the coordinators, or I am the coordinator for the service-based count, which also includes any phone interviews that we will be completing. Um, This is a pilot that we have received from HUD to start for this year. So we are starting it off just with a few locations, a few partner agencies. And the target really is to focus on the individuals that we are unable to count as far as youth mainly during the general count. So that is the purpose of today's orientation. We do have Nathan Chang. He is one of our analyst, I believe is the title, that is working on the survey itself. And Nathan, if you get a chance, I'm going to let you chime in as well. And I also have a co-presenter, which is going to be one of our student interns. Nathan, go ahead.
Oh, I'm just waving. But yeah, I'm here. I'm a GIS analyst. I am the one who created the survey, and if there's any edits, please send them my way. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Nathan. So, as I mentioned before, if you could just make sure to sign in, please put your full name, your position, organization, and email address in the chat box. This is recorded. We will be providing it to you on the Google Drive. We can send a link out as well. And then I also have the lovely Monique Guerra. She's our youth count coordinator as well, who is on here to assist with anything as well. So I'm going to go ahead and get started, and let's see if we have any questions. Go ahead and put them in the chat box and we'll try to answer those as we go. If not, we will send out like a Q&A at the end of the training. So as I mentioned before, it is going to be recorded. Unless you are speaking, it is being requested that all attendees please mute your microphones during the meeting so that everyone can hear the meeting effectively. So I introduced myself. I'm going to go ahead and let Jennifer introduce herself as well. Jennifer, if you want to go ahead.
Hi everyone, my name is Jennifer. I'm an intern here at the COC and I've been working with Martha specifically on the phone interview, so please use my email for any assistance I can provide you with.
Thank you, Jennifer. So to start off our agenda, we're going to go over the volunteer registration, introduction to the general point in time count, the mobile survey tool, importance and purpose of the service-based count, implementing the service-based count, what the phone interviews are, what they entail, all of that good stuff, the community partner roles, and we have a slide on mark your calendars. Please make sure to remember these dates. Other ways to be involved and any questions. But again, you can ask any questions as we go. Just place them in the chat and then we can answer those at the end. So it's important that you all remember the volunteer registration. It is required to register in order to participate in any aspects of the general youth Come Be Connected, any events with the More Than a Count initiative. When you actually go in to sign up, it will request the city you prefer to volunteer in. For the service space, you just need to put in your site location. So whatever location you are, your site is, just place that in there. And then other questions it'll ask is if you have transportation and are a licensed driver, if you're bilingual. Those are primarily if you are intending to participate in any other aspects of the count as well. It will include a liability waiver that is required, and it will collect emergency contact information. Please remember that anyone who is not registered cannot complete the survey. We do provide you the training to complete the survey correctly, adequately, and with respect to those that are currently homeless. So please make sure to complete that volunteer registration and the training. It will be provided. If you were unable to attend the general or youth mandatory volunteer training that was held on 110 and 111, please send an email out to rivcopit@rivco.org. They will be providing that recording as well, along with a quick, I want to say a quick few questions just to ensure that you did actually listen to the training. And it is important, like I said, because that way you know how to complete the survey itself. The volunteer registration will close on January 17th. Please keep that in mind. Once registration is closed, we will know how many volunteers are available in case any of your sites do need volunteers. We will have a better idea at that point who we can send. So the general point in time count. The data that we collect from this count is used to determine federal funding across the nation. It is a nationwide count. We do use this in order to apply for funding. We, as a continuum of care, we continuously apply for all different sorts of grants. So it is important for us to have accurate numbers on this. So please keep that in mind. Our state homeless funding allocation is based on this data that is collected. Our homeless data plays a critical role in the continuum of care programs and our competitive process. It is very competitive when we are applying for grants. The count data provides critical updates on national and local progress towards preventing and ending homelessness. The orientation recording was available or is available on the PIC Count Training website. It is there at the bottom. Just kind of an overview of the count breakdown. There's a mobile survey tool, the volunteer registration website, our recruitment strategies, publicity and awareness, unincorporated area counts, veteran, youth, and senior service referrals, the service-based trainings, city leaders and stakeholder engagement, community involvement, the geolocation, which is actually part of the survey, and Nathan might be able to provide a little bit on that when we get to the slide on the survey itself, and the youth hit count. So right here we have the mobile survey tool. It is the Survey 123 app. If you participated last year, you will want to delete that one and re-upload just for insurance. Just make sure that you did down the 2023 app. So the survey is updated, I believe, every year. So this year it'll show up as the 2023 point in time count for Riverside County, and that QR code is available as well. So just keep that in mind. I don't know, Nathan, can you just kind of give a brief overview? I know I'm putting you on the spot on the whole geolocation when it comes to the phone interview portion.
Oh, yeah. What would you like me to go over at this point?
So
Just
So I know that the geolocation is that going to be based on where they are actually collecting so if the partner is, say, in India, they're going to call somebody that's on their case management caseload. That geolocation would go to India, not where the client is specifically at, right?
by default, if you're using a phone, it will pinpoint the selection is to center on yourself, which is where you're at, where the mobile user's at. But there is another selection, which is a map, and you can move the map to where whomever you're calling is. So when you're calling, you can ask them what's your closest address, and you can type in the address, or you can ask them for a point of interest. Is it a Walmart? Is a Target on a specific intersection? And you can type that in and move the map. It'll auto move if you search, or you can move it manually and then submit from there. So you can actually pinpoint where the client is.
Okay, perfect. Thank you, Nathan.
Mhm.
So I just wanted to make sure to add that because specifically for those partners that are doing this phone interview, which is yourselves that are on the call, that is a part of the aspect as far as a phone interview. When you complete the general training, they will review this information. And so because you are completing the phone interview, you can actually target the location where they are at specifically by going over with what Nathan just mentioned. So it is part of the training. That's why it is very important to complete. And Laura, I think you have a question or comment.
I did. Good morning, everyone. And so I just caught the perfect explanation from Nathan about this, and I think that's such an important piece of this orientation, and specifically the phone interview. I don't know if you were planning on doing this, Marta, already, but can we give Nathan maybe like 5 minutes to kind of get ready, and if would he be able to like share his screen and show us how to do that on the phone?
I don't want to put
on his
Nathan on the
screen?
spot too much, but that's going to
Yeah,
be up to him
so
if you'd like to do
Nathan,
that.
so
It's
Nathan, can you?
possible. Just
Yes.
give me access to this the screen. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, so you tell us when you're ready to do that, because I know it's a kind of an immediate ask, but I think all of our partners here, especially me, because I would like to see like step by step how to do this on my phone if I was to be calling someone, to make sure that when I do conduct a survey and I am, like Nathan said, I am in Moreno Valley, but this person lives in Paris, that I would be able to ping the location where this person is experiencing homelessness, because that's really important, right? We want to, and the reason why I also say that is a lot of our city leaders have asked the question, you know, if you're doing phone surveys, then where that person is, those individuals are going to be pinged in that city, and it should not be that way. So I said, no, it's not. It works because we can manually enter the location. So I'm glad Nathan's here and that he's going to be able to literally show us how to do that. Thank you, Marta. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Nathan, I'll give you a couple minutes if you just want to let me know when you're ready.
I'm ready.
Okay.
And I want to answer Sue's question. You don't need to have an account to log into the survey, but you do need to download the app. That will be provided in the general survey introduction. Training, sorry. And in the survey, it will ask for your name and your phone number in it. So if there's any questions referring to the rest of the survey, it'll go back to that section. We can go back to that section to check. So I'm going to share my screen. What you're seeing is the survey once you log in. So in the first portion, you enter your full name. So I hope that answers Sue's question, and your phone number. Now, because this is done by phone, it is important that you click on the second portion of it. By default, it is in-person interview observation. So this portion of everyone that's calling the client will be by phone. So make sure that you click on this one. And you follow the survey as to continue going further. Just know that this survey is used by the volunteers themselves as well that are on the field, and the same not issues, but more of the filling in criteria will be used along the same way, as in if you hit the check mark too early, it'll tell you what you're missing. So I'll just say Nathan here. And then my phone number would be like, I'm gonna just put 911 as an example, but to continue, it'll keep highlighting things that you've missed. So that's an important thing to understand. Now, the other portion is the mapping portion. So I'm just gonna go down the survey. It's about the 6th question. As you ask these same questions, you're gonna ask them where were they stayed the night of. Say no, because that's if no one asked them. And then you ask them where type of location they stayed. I'm gonna say encampment. Now, the second portion of it here is including yourself, how many people are living in that encampment or in the same household. I'm just gonna put one for example. And below here is the mapping portion. So if you read here, I put in a little hint on there. The left side, which is this button, is to center on the phone location. So if you're using your phone, it'll center. But if you're using a web browser, it will not, because it can't detect it. So for those that are using web browser, or you want to pinpoint where your client is, you click on this map. When you click on it, it takes you to this screen. It'll load the map, and you can, you can see, I don't know if you see my cursor, I'm clicking down and I'm holding down and I'm moving the map. If you're on your phone, you're basically using your finger and just moving it with one finger. Second thing is you can type in address here, 14th Street. And then you put in the city and the zip, and it even has suggestions for you if you put a drop down or once you start entering. Once you have selected where your client is, you can even zoom in, I'm sorry. You can zoom in and you can see some street intersections, you can see a park there. And that's once where you leave where the blue marker is, that's where the point that you're saying where your client is. After you completed centering the map, right there, you hit the check mark, and now that location has been saved. And then you continue on with your survey. So I hope that helps you all. Do you have any other any questions?
I had a question. I downloaded the app, but last time I remember I had a number or a code because it's not bringing up Riverside. So it's not allowing you to access anything. It just says you have to sign in to access the surveys. So do they give you that? I can't remember. Do they give you that when they get back to us with the training document?
Once you download the app, which you have, we are gonna issue the QR code. And
okay.
And once you scan it, it'll take you to the app and download it for you.
Okay, perfect. Right, and then we presumably all have a different number to sign in with. Do we have a survey number, or is it through our names?
It's just your name and your phone number.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
Thanks.
Lauda, I think you had a question.
Yes, that was a really good question, Sue. If you attended the volunteer training, or if you're a registered volunteer, we did send out, I believe it was Tuesday morning, a reminder email of the volunteer training to all of our registered volunteers. It was a reminder and the link to the training. In that email, we attached instructions on how to access the survey. And it's a slide deck. It's about 6 slides, and the first 2 are the ones that Nathan was referring to. You download the app first, then you grab the QR code, and then you have the survey. But then the other slides will tell you this is what your screen should look like. You don't need to sign in. This is so it walks you through a couple of steps. So be on the lookout for that. And if you don't have it, I think Martha's going to be sharing with all of you this recorded training, and so she can also include those instructions in case you didn't catch them. So I hope that helps, Sue. But I did have a question, and I don't know if it's a question, but you know how, Nathan, you're saying, you know, you look for the location and then you kind of plot them in the map. I would say that we really want you to be as specific as you possibly can. So for example, if they say, you know, they're in front of the Walmart, or they're at the Walmart, that you would ask them, like, are you on the side of this street, or are you on the side of this street? Because in some cities it might not matter, but in others they might be very close to city borders, and being on one side might, I don't know. I'm just thinking. So try to do your best when you are asking them where they slept on the night of Tuesday, January 24th, that you get as specific as, so if they say I'm in a park, okay, the park is big, so tell me exactly in the area of where you are in the park. They might know, they might not, but just kind of be mindful of that. We want it to be as accurate as possible so that they are added to the count for the correct city. Thank you.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you, Nathan. So I'm going to go ahead and continue presenting. And here we go. So for the service-based count specifics. What is the service-based count? It is a multi-day specialty count to survey the unsheltered individuals that were unable to get on the day of the general count, which is that day of the 25th, which is from 5:30 to 9:30. So this is why it's so important that if we're not able to get those numbers for those particular individuals on those days, that we're able to gather this information on this 3-day time frame. It focuses on various social service locations, public and private. The importance of it is that it identifies and counts people who are unsheltered but not counted on the morning of the general count because they were missed. Sometimes by 9:30, some of the individuals have already moved on, gone to their next place that they're going to stay at. So you know, this is a way for us to capture that information. And then the service-based count, like I'd mentioned before, it is Wednesday, January 25th through Friday, January 27th at the during the agency operation hours. The implementation of the service-based count, it identifies and invites agencies and organizations to participate as service-based partners. We appreciate all of you who have signed up, who are participating, who have, you know, provided referrals for other agencies, and who do the work that you do by serving all of our populations that are in need, that they need all services available to them. The service-based count includes agencies and organizations frequented by those experiencing homelessness or are unsheltered. You know, examples are soup kitchens, services provided via mobile vans, drop-in centers, libraries, or other community locations. Partner agency staff or might request volunteers to be assigned to those agencies, and it's really based on availability and the volunteers that we get. We will do all possible attempts to provide and to accommodate the volunteers you might request, but unfortunately it's based on those that, you know, register to volunteer. Anyone conducting an interview or survey is required to register as a volunteer, participate in the volunteer training, and sign the liability release waiver. So please, if you haven't done so, complete that training as well. We will be providing a recording of the general training by the end of this week, and it will include some questions. I believe I mentioned it before to ensure that you have completed the training. The phone interview portion, so we've gone over a big chunk of what the phone interviews are, why they're implemented, how to set the geolocation, the importance of that. It is an added component. HUD did allow us to complete these phone interviews, which we had not been able to complete before. Typically, we're looking at case managers, social workers, staff who might have some type of caseload or know of particular clients that they might be able to call over the span of these 3 days to conduct that phone interview. So it's not where we are providing you a list of clients we think might be homeless still at any time. It's something where you already have an established rapport for the same reason that if you encounter somebody and they come into your office, you are already building that rapport as soon as they walk in that door. So for us to have somebody else try to complete that survey sometimes doesn't go over as well because they've already built that understanding and rapport with you. You're providing all these services and they feel more comfortable disclosing and conducting that phone interview that could be 15 minutes. So that's really the purpose, the reasoning why we have this option for you guys specifically. Partners have the option to interview the unsheltered individuals through the phone after registering and participating in the specific training only. So as a caveat to that as well, with the survey, the 123 survey that Nathan was showing, if you see it says by authorized users only, because we don't want everybody to complete this everybody to complete that survey without knowing why we're conducting it, how we're conducting it. So that's why it says by authorized use only. And so that's kind of goes over the phone interview portion. I will let Jennifer go over the next couple slides and we are almost done here. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Hi everyone, I just wanted to review the defining roles for you all so you have a structure of what the next few weeks will look like. And next slide, please. So what are your partner roles? The main thing that we do want for you guys is to have your doors open on the days of the count so that you can provide services to anyone who may need so. So please be on the lookout for any individuals who might need your services. Make sure that your staff is trained and registered. That still goes on until tomorrow is the deadline to register their agencies, but the deadline for the trainings will be until, let me check.
January
Give me a second.
17th.
January 17th, sorry. And make sure you know the dates. The next slide will give you a timeline of the following dates that you will need to be on the lookout for. And make sure that you provide a space for individuals to conduct the trainings and make sure you go over the protocol to make sure everyone cares for the individuals as best as we can. Next slide, please.
And just to add on the private space, the reason why we say that is because as you know, individuals coming into your office, they're coming in already feeling vulnerable and, having to answer, about 15 minutes of questions, and I'm just throwing out a number there, it's already can be traumatic. So you want to give them that space to actually talk to you and feel comfortable with you. Again, you as partners know this, but I'd like to reiterate it just for the fact that sometimes you forget about it. And so we just want to throw that out there as a reminder, provide that safe space for them in a private setting, if available, obviously, when you are conducting this survey.
So here's a checklist of the next things that you are able to do. So the Google form, most of you have already turned that in so that we know your site location and your hours of operation. You will still have access in your portal for the staff volunteering and trainings. We also have coordination to pick up all your incentive bags. Here are the locations that we have, and you can coordinate with us to make sure that you have all that you need. And please help us spread the word as well through your social media or to other agencies that may be able to come into the roles too. And next slide, please.
Well, just to add, because I know I hadn't had a chance to throw this out in an email, but just so you know, we do have some availability of incentive bags. It's all based on what we can accommodate. We would like if you are able to send us a number of bags you think you might need. So say on a daily basis, you might encounter a couple individuals here and there to count. Say you think you might have those, say it's 5. If you are able to send me a number that you think you might need to provide to them, these incentive bags come with a lot of goodies, a lot of good stuff to provide to them. So if you give me a number, we can potentially accommodate those as available. And we do require that if you are going to accept these incentive bags, that you do let us, that you do complete the coordination with Monique or with Josh to pick those up. So anybody that's out in the desert area, you would contact Josh. Those that are out here in Riverside or closer to Riverside, you would just coordinate with Monique for pickup. So just as a follow-up on that, just because I hadn't had a chance to send the email out, if you think you would want 5 bags, let us know and we can try to accommodate.
So here is a timeline of the following dates. We will have the volunteer for the general count training and the volunteer youth count training already did happen, but you have access to those in your portal. So remember that the registration closed on January 17th, and the service-based count will happen simultaneously with the general count and the youth count. So it's going on from January 25th to the 27th, according to the hours that the agency provided. And next slide, please.
Jenny, I'm going to throw something else out there. If you have not volunteered for the youth count, I'm plugging this in there. Please, please, please take consideration of participating in the youth count. They still need volunteers. If you're available and would like to participate at least one of the days, please, please, please make sure to volunteer. I know Monique would greatly appreciate that. So go ahead and make sure to check that out. Unless, Monique, you want to throw something else out there?
No, just again, if you do need support with your phone interviews or asking clients, if you can survey them over the phone. Again, we're just trying to make sure that we get a good, accurate number of all the youth that are experiencing homelessness. And so, again, just to reiterate, our goal for those 3 days is that if we are not counting youth out on the street for the street-based count, and that if we're not counting youth at any of the Come and Be Connected events, that this may be another a way for us to connect and to have your agencies connect with the youth that they're already serving to make sure that they get interviewed about their housing status, especially if they are experiencing homelessness during those 3 days and they're already seeking services from your agency. So again, if you need any support in that, you're always free to reach out to me. I'll go ahead and put my info in the chat. And if you're interested in assisting in the youth count in any way, I know that some of your agencies are deployment sites for the youth count. Some of your agencies are participating as vendors for the Come and Be Connected events. And so again, we appreciate all of your support and your time and your efforts for our youth count. Again, it is a population that we need to serve and that we need to, fill those gaps for. And so I know that you all are already doing amazing work, and we just want to continue to partner through that. So thank you all so much. I'll put my information in the chat. Please reach out to me if you have any questions at all. Thank you. Thank you. Good job.
Could I just ask a quick question?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to check. So are you still needing centers to work from? I mean, should we be volunteering our office, or are you okay for the youth count? Do you have enough centers to work from? Is it just the actual volunteers you need?
Sites right
Deployment sites. Okay, so it's just we need our staff
Thank
to
you, Sue.
volunteer. Okay, well,
Yeah.
we'll encourage our staff to sign up then. Because it
Thank
doesn't
you,
sound
and
from
then
your
again-
from your description, it doesn't sound like we're the best match for the phone interviews given our youth. So we'll try and encourage people to sign up for the count.
Thank you, Sue. We appreciate your support, and again, just letting clients know that we do have Come and Be Connected events across the county, in Lake Elsinore, Hemet, Riverside. And if folks want services and they want to get connected and interviewed, all folks are welcome to go there. Again, they are specific for youth, hoping that they'll go. There's food, there's gifts and stuff. But again, if there's anybody that needs any services and wants to come by the events to connect with some of our vendors, please go ahead and let your clients know. And if you don't have that Come and Be Connected flyer, it is on our youth count page. And then if you need that, please let me know. But thank you, Sue. We appreciate you.
Go ahead, Jennifer. I think you wanted to finish off.
Yeah, just to wrap up, as Monique was saying, please help us promote the Come and Be Connected events and the count as a whole on your social medias, or if you have any agencies that might still want to participate, we still have registration open. And next slide, please. And here's our information once again, so you guys can contact us for any further assistance. Thank you so much.
And I'll open up the floor if there are any additional questions at this point. If you have not placed them in the chat and you want to get those questions answered now, go ahead and raise your hand and I can go ahead and call on you. If there are no questions, we will complete this recording, but I'll give you guys a minute. Okay. So it looks like we did a fantastic job and we don't have any other questions. So we appreciate your time. We appreciate your efforts. We appreciate everything that you do. Thank you so much for participating. If there are any questions, please make sure to reach out to us. I know this was brief and quick, but I hope it was to the point and it addressed anything that you did have any concerns about. So I will go ahead and stop the recording and thank you guys all.